Can't see when you do those fingers. Good morning. And welcome to this morning's meditation service. Happy New Year. But really, Happy New You. Happy new life. Happy new anchoring in spirit. So as we just turn within and we center down, releasing all that has come before, that rustle, hustle, that bustle that took us to get here in this moment in time. I know I'm releasing it. So just let's take a deep breath. Take one in and let it go. And as you let it go, let all those things from 2021 go. Let everything go. Let's take another deep breath. And as you let that breath go, recognize that truly you're accepting the new you. What is that? The new you. I'm calling it the new moment, for every moment is a new moment. So why not just live life moment by moment and make each one new, releasing every thought from the last moment and bringing in a new one. What a concept. So just relax in that you don't have to wait a whole year to be new. Try it moment by moment. Be excited moment by moment. If you weren't excited in the last moment, call the next moment excitement. Call the next moment good. Call the next moment God. So as you anchor in that awareness, I just take you to a space where you're designing your life this year. Not a resolution, not something that you have to do different. Just what is your design for you? Not someone else's design, your design. And your design, you're designing it from spirit. Try that. Be in prayer and call on your essence from within. And just ask, what is my design for my life? What am I calling forth this year? What am I calling forth in this moment? Be earnest. Seize this moment. This is your opportunity to create you just the way you want. What can you do? What can you dream? What can you begin? Dream it. Do it. Begin it. Be bold. Be powerful. Call yourself forward. Be that being you chose before the before. You know, you've been hiding. You know. Just call it forth now. Be bold. Be powerful. Represent the spirit within you. Just anchor in that awareness. Really and truly enter into the newness of your life. Isaiah said, I create a new heaven and a new earth. And it is that newness, the new heaven, the new earth within you that expresses in the world. So then I just ask you to be there. To trust your wisdom as your guide. to know that Spirit is speaking to you, and all you need do is listen. Just listen. Know that you're hearing the inner voice, that sweet voice that tells you every moment of every day, I love you. That inner voice, if you'll just listen. So I call you forth to be bold, to be powerful. And now I'm just going to ask you to anchor that in with an Om. So take a deep breath. Om. And in this moment, I just say, it is done. Namaste. This concludes the meditation. And if you just allow yourself to stay in this sweet, sweet centered space, the service will begin shortly. Namaste.
Just as Marsha Bradshaw was bringing in the place that we all go, this is called Look Inside, and I just invite you to do this, and it's a song. When I want to look inside, you are all I see. My eyes are open wide. I know that you're with me. Look inside. Look inside. Look inside. Just look inside. When I slowly close my eyes, I feel you in my heart. Bluebirds sing close by. I no longer feel apart. Look inside. Look inside. Look inside. Just look inside. I know that you are the only one for me. You are my one, my only one. It is only you I see. Your love light shines so true. Your spirit all I need. For I am one with you. Look inside. Look inside. Look inside. It's all you have to do. Look inside. Look inside. Look inside. It's all you have to do. Thank you. Thank you.
Would you like to just play a little bit? We've got a few more minutes, please. Thank you, Chris. That was beautiful. I want to say thank you to Chris Glick, our music director, for that beautiful song and interlude. And we also have our band here. We've got Leon on the bass and Brian on the drums. And, yes, and, well, let's give him a hand. Yeah. And then we also have Elizabeth Hangen is our guest singer. So we'll be seeing some of her in just a few minutes. And I want to say thank you to Marcia Bradshaw, our practitioner. She led our beautiful meditation this morning, and she'll be doing our invocation and reading in just a few minutes. So let's give her a hand. And today we do not have Gloria on sound. She's, resting at home and recuperating a little bit. So let's give our prayers to Gloria. And but we do have Harris back there. He's adjusting a camera right now, and and so let's say thank you to Harris. He's making sure that everybody that's online has an opportunity to hear us and all. So. Happy New Year to everybody that's here, or also to all of our friends and family that are online with us this morning. It is such an interesting time that we are in, 2022, isn't it? So, let's just put on our seatbelts and get ready for the rocket ride, that 2022 will be. And that's a good thing. For me anyway. I grew up as a science fiction fan, so a rocket ride's a good thing for me. And so, we're just looking forward to all that is coming to us in 2022. So we have such a good time planned for you this morning. And I see Joyce coming in the doors here. Hi, Joyce. It's so nice to see you. It's great. We've got people here, and we have people online. We've got people still coming in. I heard somebody coming through the gate. So we're just going to go ahead and get going this morning. I'd like to ask Marcia Bradshaw to come on up, and she's going to do our reading and invocation in whichever order she wants to.
Good morning, all. Welcome. Good morning. Especially to everyone here in the sanctuary and all the folks that are watching us online or will watch us. Mm-hmm. So my name is Marcia Bradshaw, and I am practitioner emeritus here at Ahiah. And my reading this morning is taken from 365 Science of Mind by Ernest Holmes, A Year of Daily Wisdom. And I have to tell you the truth. It is a new year, so happy new year. And in it, I said, okay, I'm doing things differently. So I just arrived 30 minutes late. Totally discombobulated. New you. And every moment can be new. Happy New Year. So the reading is, I am conscious of the currents of life, and the prayer of faith shall save the sick, and the Lord shall raise them up. James 5:15. Everything is continually being recreated. Spirit is forever making all things new. Today is the time to prove to ourselves that it knows how to bring the right things to pass for us. Let us confidently affirm the divine presence and actually believe that it is guiding us as we consciously bring any challenges we are facing into our thought. And as we think of those challenges, let us think that God is. When we say that our body is spiritual, we are not denying our physical body. The physical is included within the spiritual. If the spirit or divine intelligence has seen fit to give us a physical body, it would be absurd to think of our body as an illusion, unworthy of our attention. Rather, we should think of our body as a spiritual instrument, and every statement we make about our body or belief we hold about it that accepts spiritual perfection as the substance of the body tends to heal. My body is the temple of the living Spirit. It is spiritual substance now. Every part of my body is in harmony with the living Spirit within me. The life of this Spirit flows through every atom of my being, vitalizing, invigorating, and renewing every part of my physical body. There is a pattern of perfection at the center of my being that is now operating through every organ, function, action, and reaction. My body is forever renewed by the Spirit. I am now made vigorous and whole. I possess the vitality of the infinite. I am strong and well. The life of the Spirit is my life. All of its strength is my strength. Its power is my power. I feel that my whole being is renewed, invigorated, and made alive. There is complete stillness and perfect peace at the center of my being as I wait on that presence that makes all things perfect. Every breath I draw is a breath of perfection, vitalizing, upbuilding, and renewing every cell of my body. I am born of the Spirit. I am in the Spirit. I am the Spirit made manifest. So as we take those thoughts in, recognizing the perfection of God within each one of us, recognizing that God is, I am. Each person is the essence of Spirit. And it is that perfection that I speak this word for this morning, that perfection that lives and has its being in the divine. So I know that that perfection speaks here through Reverend Scott. I know that perfection sings here through Elizabeth Hagan. I know that perfection plays each instrument, for God is blessing us with every soul present. I know that each person that has come to hear Spirit speak through Reverend Scott hears that voice as a personal voice, for that voice is speaking personally to each person that listens. And that voice is guiding, directing, uplifting, and holding every individual within the range of that voice and all of the beings on the planet. For that voice speaks God's words. So I bless this service knowing that God is. I bless each person here and all those individuals that are hearing my voice in this moment and at any moment that they listen. And all those individuals that feel the essence of Spirit through this service, whether they are on this plane or another plane. For God speaks through all. God listens through all. God is activated by all. And it is from this space and place that I just say, thank you, God. Thank you for life itself. Thank you for the eternality of life. Thank you for the spirit that rises in each human being and all the essences on this planet. For I know that spirit is good. Spirit is love. Spirit is life. Spirit is joy. Spirit is the power abounding in each one of us. So I call it forward in this day, in this new year, calling forward the new you, the new life, the essence of God operating as you in every moment. And I just bless that awareness. I bless each person on this planet, recognizing that I join my voice with all of those individuals that are praying for this planet this morning. I join with them, holding us, lifting us, honoring us, recognizing God. And I say thank you, thank you. It is done. I allow it to be. And each of us says, and so it is. Amen. Amen. Ashe.
Mm-hmm. Thank you, Marcia. You know, I'm recognizing that I missed something. Harris, let's go ahead and do the meditation video now. Is that all right? Okay. So let's go ahead and take a deep breath in, and we'll do a beautiful meditation video that Gabriel has put together for us.
I am made of the light that hung the stars in the night, a perfect thought since time began. I am one with the love that's holding all of us. It's power in my hands. I am called by the voice that speaks of truth and joy, forever blessed where I stand. I am with the love that's holding all of us. It's power in my hands. I am. That speaks of truth and joy, forever blessed where I stand. I
Yeah, that's a beautiful song by Denise Rosier. Oops, and we're going to do it again, it sounds like. There we go. Oh, electronics, you know. So I'm going to ask Elizabeth Hengen to come up. She's going to do a song for us. While she's coming up, I'll apologize to Kelly. She told me the other day that she listens, you know, she always calls her grandkids, Talia and Sterling, over to listen to the music video. So hopefully they were able to catch that. So Elizabeth, what do you got for us?
Well, first of all, good morning and happy new year, new you, as we say. Yes. And I'd like to say hi to my mom if she's watching this morning. Also, if you don't mind, do you mind? This is my friend, Wanda, who has joined us today. I don't know if you need a mask. You need a mask. Okay. Anyway, so just want to welcome her. This is her first time here. And actually, I ran into her the other day in the parking lot getting pho in the place that she had told me about. And so I was sitting there waiting for mine, and here she comes. And so she said she might come, and so I'm welcome. Glad to see you. The song is called Let Spirit Move You. Unsatisfied with your everyday life, there must be more. Let there be more. As you look out the window, see the world stretched out before you. You can taste it, you can feel it, and you must heed the call. Let Spirit move you to the good that is waiting for you, and let Spirit guide you to all the things you were meant to do. Trust the Spirit inside of you. Love divine is life's expression. Your thoughts become actions. You can change old to new. It's God in action, working through you. Can't you see it? Can't you feel it? And you must heed the call. Let Spirit move you to the good that is waiting for you. And let Spirit guide you. All the things you're meant to do. Let Spirit inside Second verse, you guys, second verse. Love's divine, it's life's expression. Your thoughts become action. You can change old to new. It's God in action, working through you. Can't you see it? Can't you feel it? Now you must heed the call. Let Spirit move you to the good that is waiting for you. Let Spirit guide you to all the things you're meant to do. Trust the Spirit inside of you, yeah. Let Spirit move you to the good that is waiting for you. Let Spirit guide you to all the things you're meant to do. Trust the Spirit inside of you. Oh, let Spirit move you to the good that is waiting for you. Let Spirit guide you to all the things you're meant to do. Trust the Spirit inside of you. Trust the Spirit inside of you. Thank you.
Oh, thank you, Elizabeth. You know, all the music has been spot on to the message today. It's all about, you know, in this new year, what do we want to experience? How do we want to experience it? How does it show up in our lives? And so, you know, we're here in the new year and we have a new theme then, because this is the beginning of January. And the January theme then is living everyday wonder. Living everyday wonder. And that's kind of what this song talks a little bit about. Living the everyday wonder by allowing Spirit to move through you. And, you know, as I stand here, it's only the 2nd of January, right? Very, very new in this new year. It's brand spanking new baby, isn't it? And as I think about, you know, what is it that's going to show up in this new year? Well, you know, I got my crystal ball out. It's a little hazy. It doesn't really show very much. And you know, there's an old saying about crystal balls. He who lives by the crystal ball learns to eat glass, you know. So so I don't want to live by the crystal ball, but here's what I do know. I can tell us that individually speaking, if we don't choose to do anything new this year, if we don't choose to change the way we interact with the world, with Spirit, change the way we believe, then, you know, 2022 will be pretty much like 2021, because that's the way it works. That's how we teach things happen. And so, you know, I don't really know what it's going to show up like, but, you know, I do know that much. And then collectively, what are we going to collectively experience in this new year of 2022? Well, you know, it's very same. It's very, very similar. But the difference is that no one person makes any choices that collectively come true. It's not a one-person thing. It's not the president. It's not celebrities. It's not, you know, your favorite football player. It's us collectively creating this together. But what I do know is that if I want it to change in a particular way, if I don't change myself, then I'm not participating in it, that I'm not moving us forward. You know, it goes back to Gandhi's saying, be the change you want to see in the world. And so we have this opportunity as we stand here in this new year to make some choices. What do we want in our life? How do we want to show up in the world? How do we want the world to show up? What's my vote for how the world will show up? So for me, I was thinking about it because that's what I do, right? That's what you guys pay me to do is think about these things. And so I was doing my job, right? I was thinking about it. But I do it for me too, right? I do it for you, I do it for me. And I was realizing as I was thinking about it for me that, things have changed over my years. That when I was younger, when a new year came and I was thinking about things, I would be thinking about, these grand ideas of what I wanted to show up in that year for myself. And now, the truth is that nowadays for myself, it tends to be more about those simple things. The simple things that show up in my life, my family and my friends, my spiritual family here. How are we doing in this world? And if we are doing well, then I'm happy. I'm just joyous from that. So, it came to me as I was thinking about all of this, I happened to let Ganesh out. Now, Ganesh, here's a picture of Ganesh. This is my standard poodle, and he's about 3 years old. I've had him for 3 years or so. And, I was thinking about it, and I wrote about it on our newsletter at New Year's Eve. And I was watching him when I let him out the backyard the other day, that he did what he normally does, which is he goes out a couple of steps into the backyard, and then he stops, and he sniffs. He just stands there and he sniffs. And sometimes he will stand in the exact same spot for 5 minutes or so and just sniff. And I mean, he's not like sniffing a little bit. He's got his nose out, he's just snuffling right along. And I realized as I was thinking about that what he's doing is he's using the highest sense that he has to see what's going on in the world around him, right? Because the sense of smell for a dog is 100 times better than our sense of smell, and it's probably the best one that they have. And so he's there, standing there, kind of exploring the world with his nose. Now, for humans, for me and for you, our nose isn't that good. That's not what I'm telling you to do. The truth is for us, our highest faculty, our highest sense is not any of the physical senses that we have. It's not our ears, our nose, our taste, our touch. It's not even our visual sense. The highest sense that we have is our internal consciousness. It's our ability to look inside at our lives and to see the truth of who we are and what do we believe and what are we thinking. And so that's what I'm suggesting for us, is that we think about Ganesh as we go into this new year and think about how do we take that, that sense for us, that consciousness sense for us, our thoughts, our awareness, and how do we make that and merge that with the world around us? I'm going to be talking a little bit more about that. But I wanted to give you a little bit of an example, and I'm going to go back to this gift that Gabriel made. And you can see that it's got, a beautiful purple flower there. And on top of that, it has, this bee that kind of comes in to be on top of the flower. And the flower by itself is beautiful, and it has its own kind of meaning. And the bee by itself is beautiful. It has its own beauty, and it has its own purpose in the world. And when you put the two things together, the sum of them is more than just the flower and the bee. There's a meaning that shows up with having them together and being together. And that's what I'm suggesting, and that's what we'll be talking about today, is how does that show up? How do we get more meaning out of the world? So, today's talk title is called The World's Epiphany. And here we are in January, and January is traditionally the in Centers for Spiritual Living. Normally in January we talk about the back to the basics. We talk about the basic ideas of science of mind, the philosophy that we teach here, the philosophy that Ernest Holmes came up with back. You know, he died in 1960, but he first published the Science of Mind textbook, I think it was 1924 or 25, somewhere in there. And so it's been around for almost 100 years now, that textbook that we teach out of. And so in that textbook, there's an introduction, and there's 4 sections to that introduction. So normally what we do is we take a section every week for that, and we talk about that. I'm buzzing, aren't I? Yeah. Well, yeah, like the bee. I'm like the bee. Maybe I should get off that gift. Maybe I can. That's worse. How about I go this way? Is that any better? Yeah. All right. Well, we'll go on with this then. You can hear me clearly. Great. Okay. So so the thing itself is the first of the sections in that introduction, and in that area of the introduction, what it does is it talks about spirit, the thing itself, and it talks about what is spirit and how does spirit work. You know what, Harris? I'm going to change to the yellow mic. You guys? All right. No, Harris, do you have me turned off? This one? Yeah. Okay. All right. There we go. I'm used to these handheld mics. They do very well. So so spirit, this thing itself, it talks about how spirit works and what spirit is. And there is one thing in all the world's religions that all the world's religions agree on. And that is that there's only one spirit. There's only one God. Whether you call it God or Allah or Brahman, it doesn't matter. There's only one. We don't have different gods. We call them different things, but it's really the same thing, because it's basically the ultimate cause of all that we see, all that we are, all that we do. That's what God really is, the ultimate cause. And so where things get a little dicey in the world's religions are, you know, what exactly is our relationship to the thing itself? What does it mean to be human? What does it mean to have consciousness and awareness? What does that all mean? And so you'll find disagreements in the world's religions. There's a kind of a golden thread of truth that it points to, I think, what we teach, but you know, some of the specifics are different. So I just want to let you know what we teach here is that in the new thought philosophies, of which our science of mind is one of them, there are others. There's unity, there's Christian science, for instance, divine science. There's several of them out there. But basically, in all of these new thought philosophies, there's one major idea, which is that it's not just that there's only one spirit, one God, there's also only one mind. And we share, every last one of us, all consciousness, whether it's here on this planet or somewhere else in the universe, it doesn't matter. All consciousness is one consciousness. And then on top of that, what we teach here is that in that one mind, what is creative is the thoughts. What is thought ends up being created into our lives. And it's created in such a way that there is absolute, eternal, and essential freedom. And what does that mean? Well, all that really means is that spirit just says yes. It doesn't say, well, I like Linda better than you, so I'm gonna say yes to Linda but no to you. It doesn't do that. It just says yes. And so that's really what we teach. That's that's a 2-minute, short course on the very basic idea of what we teach in this philosophy. And so each week in this month of January, I'll give you those little tidbits to go, oh, yeah, that's what we're talking about. But I want to go on to what's a little more useful, I think. It is very important that we understand that philosophy, but the more useful thing is, how does it show up? How do we use it in our lives? Well, the first thing that always comes to me is this idea is that to have a meaningful life, we have to live meaningfully, right? It's the same idea of, how do I live a meaningful life? Well, I have to think meaningful thoughts. I have to believe meaningful ideas. And so, we can live our lives not from that place. It's really easy to live from a place where we're really unaware of spirit, unaware of ourselves as that life that spirit is, unaware of how the creative process works. And we all know many people in this world that live from that place of being unaware. It's not like they're stupid or anything, it's just they're unaware. And what tends to happen with people who are not aware of their own creative power is that they tend to live from a place of being a victim. Right? It's easy to live from that place of not really knowing, not being aware that I'm a powerful being. And if I'm not a powerful being, then I'm at the effect of the things around me. I'm at the effect of my job. If I get fired from my job, well, I have no control. I'm just at the effect now. I have to go find another job. Or if I don't have any money coming in. Now, the other thing to do, the other way of living our lives is the opposite of being unaware. It's to be aware. It's to be awake. But aware is actually the word I like, right? That's my capital A word, right? Awareness. Because when I'm aware, when I'm actually thinking about what I'm thinking about, then I start to realize, I start to connect the dots, so to speak. I start to see how what it is that I'm thinking translates into what is happening in my life. And that's where freedom comes in. That's where I start to recognize the freedom that Spirit is as me and through me, because the world just shows up as I'm thinking, as I'm believing. I'm free to think whatever I want, good, bad, or ugly. And so Eckhart Tolle, he says it this way. He says, it is not uncommon for people to spend their whole life waiting to start living. Right? Spend our whole life waiting to start living. I resonate with that because I spent the first almost 40 years of my life waiting to start living. I'm glad that I've gotten beyond that. But, for many of us, it takes an epiphany. Right? Today's talk title is The World's Epiphany. It takes an epiphany for us to come to an understanding, to wake up. And sometimes we have many epiphanies in our life, right? I've had many. I've had more than one epiphany, right? Because as I get deeper and deeper in this philosophy, I wake up to a new understanding. Here's the actual definition of epiphany. It says, a usually sudden manifestation or perception of the essential nature or meaning of something. And underneath that definition on my slide, I'm not sure if Harris is showing it, is a picture of the three magi, right? Which in the Catholic faith, I hadn't heard about it until I started hanging out with Catholic people. I hadn't heard about the Epiphany as the January 6th holiday. It's coming up. Of course, I was raised on church, and I was religiously unaware pretty much. But January 6th is the Epiphany, which is the day that the three magi actually showed up where Jesus was born. So here he is in a manger, and these three kings show up, bearing gold, frankincense, and myrrh. Thank you. And so we've got all these essences of the divine there. And at that moment, what we are saying that they discovered is they discovered the Christ consciousness had been born. This idea that we understand our own divinity, that we understand that we are creative. And once you know that to be true, the world's never the same again. Once you truly embody that and understand that and know it more than just at your head level, know it at your heart level, the world's never the same. And that's why it's an epiphany. Now, the good news is you don't have to have three wise men show up at your house in order to have an epiphany, right? That's not a necessary component of all this. It's really much simpler than that. A man named, John Cage. It's out of order. How about John Cage? He said this. He says, "We are involved in a life that passes understanding, and our highest business is our daily life." That's that simple life I was talking about. It's not the big grandiose things that we want to do. Really, our number one business is our simple daily life. And in that daily life, we encounter all sorts of the divine. We find spirit everywhere we look. And so it's just like, Ganesh out there in the yard smelling. What we need to do is we need to do that for ourselves in the way that humans work. We need to take it inside. We need to be able to look outside, but to equate it to something that's inside. And when we do that, it's like the flower and the bee. It's more. There's more meaning to it than just the flower or the bee. It becomes a real thing in my life that has more deep meanings to it. So we want to be aware and pay attention. That's what we're going to have to do in order to have those simple things in our life have more divine meaning to them. And so in some ways, there is an alchemy to this realization. Alchemy is an ancient word. It goes back to the ancient Egyptians. And that word implied for them that they were searching for the way of taking, mundane metals and making them into the noble metals. So being able to take lead and make it into gold. And they were also looking for an elixir of life, these alchemists back in the ancient days. But for us, we get to do a little bit of alchemy ourselves, because we're searching to take that simple things in our lives and make them noble, make them spiritual, make them of the divine. We want to know how to go about doing that. Well, Paulo Coelho, he says the world is only the visible aspect of God. And what alchemy does is to bring spiritual perfection into contact with the material plane. So how do we do that? How do we take spiritual perfection and put it in contact with the material plane? Well, it's simple. Not easy, but simple. The idea is very simple. What we do is we see the perfection that is already there. So for instance, if you were to get sick, you wanted a healing, maybe you go to a practitioner for a prayer. And what that practitioner is going to do is they're not going to see the sickness. They're not going to see whatever ails your body. What they're looking for is they're looking for the natural perfection that is already true about you, that has always been true about you, has been true before your body was there, and is true now that your body is here, no matter what the state of your body in this moment. The higher truth is the wholeness and the order that God is as you. And that's what we do in this alchemy of life. We take the mundane and the beautiful spiritual realm, and we connect the two. And by doing that, we reveal to ourselves what has always been true. So here we are on New Year's, day after New Year's. And so I know that many people have a tradition of setting resolutions. We're going to do a resolution for the year. For me, I don't do that anymore. If anybody wants to, that's perfectly good. They can move you in the right direction. But for me nowadays, what I rather do is I rather set intentions versus resolutions. And here's the difference for me. The words are very similar, but they have different feelings for me. When I think about an intention, I think about something coming from my heart. When I think about a resolution, I'm thinking about something that's coming from my head. An intention has to do with belief. It has to do with our beliefs and how we see the world. A resolution has to do about what we're going to do in the world. One's about being, the other one's about doing. And so the more and more I live in this philosophy, the more I migrate to this idea of being rather than doing. Being first, let the doing come second. Now, it's not always easy to follow our hearts, right? Robert Kiyosaki, he says, sometimes you'll win and sometimes you'll learn, right? And that's the way life is. That's the way life works, is that we get to learn from whenever it doesn't quite work, right? We get to learn. And that's, I think, the best way to look at it. If you look at it that way, then, you need to think to yourself, well, if I fall down 7 times, it doesn't matter as long as I get up the 8th, right? That's all that really matters in life, is that not that we succeed this time, but that we're willing to move forward again. Get up, dust ourselves off, and move on again. And so that's a great intention, isn't it? That has to do with a belief, not a doingness. It's really about believing in myself and believing in the spiritual aspect of me, knowing that I am a powerful creator. So, we started with an image of Ganesh. It's a cute dog, isn't he? You want to see another one? Show you a different picture of Ganesh. There he is. So Gabriel put on a hat and snapped a picture, and there it is. And what this picture reminded me as I was kind of going through is that, just like spirit, Ganesh has this quiet persistence to him. When Ganesh wants something, he lives inside the house with us, right? And when he wants something, he just comes over and he puts his head in my lap and he stares at me. And I could be watching TV, I could be talking on the phone, I can do whatever, and I may start out by not even recognizing that he is there. But that stare, after a while, I can't ignore it. And so here's what he's not doing, though. He's not barking, not howling, not growling, not running around. He's not doing anything but just looking at me. Right? And that, to me, is very similar to the way Spirit shows up when I need to know something. Right? It's like, instead of staring me in my eyes, Spirit is staring into my heart. And you can ignore it, but you can't ignore it forever. I can't ignore it forever. And, in the case of Ganesh, when I recognize him and I'm like, oh, Ganesh, you want something. He doesn't sit there and tell me what he wants. He doesn't go, I want food, or I want to play, or I want to go outside. He doesn't say what he wants. I have to kind of figure it out. Well, it's the same way with Spirit. I feel that in my heart. I feel that there's something that Spirit's calling me to do. And now I have to go and set with that a little bit. I have to recognize that there's something Spirit's trying to tell me. I need to listen. I need to go quiet for a while. I need to start looking for the signs out there. Have you ever had signs come to you? I get them all over the place, right? A flower, a bee, a billboard sign, something playing on the radio. All of a sudden, I just know. I just know. And when that happens and I just know, I've learned to go along with those, even when they don't make any sense in the moment. I just take that next step, knowing absolutely that Spirit will show me the step after that. And so, when we are in that place of Spirit is staring at our hearts, just like Ganesh, I need to find that epiphany. I need to find within me that place of understanding that will change, right? What was the definition we had before? Oh, I can't find it. But it is, there it is, usually a sudden manifestation or perception of the essential nature or meaning of something. That's what shows up for me. This sudden perception and understanding of where I'm supposed to go, most likely just one step at a time. But what I know is that every time that happens, the extraordinary shows up in the ordinary. It's not this big thing to do. It's more, I need to appreciate this truth, this reality. And so I'd like to leave you with our affirmation for the day. It's showing up on our screen here. So if you'd go ahead and say it along with me. I recognize the extraordinary in the ordinary. Let's say that again. I recognize the extraordinary in the ordinary. And so as you go out into your week, what I'd love for you to think about doing is, just remember Ganesh. That's all you need to do for this week. Just remember Ganesh. What does he do? He sniffs. What do we need to do? We need to sniff around with our hearts. That's what we need to do. And then, he stares at people. And all you need to do is recognize that Spirit's going to communicate that way. Just listen with your heart. Just perceive with your heart. And if we do that, I absolutely know everything will be wonderful. That things will be extraordinary where it used to be ordinary. And if any of that is just a little bit confusing, it's okay. Because all you need to do is just let Spirit guide you. Thank you, and namaste. So Chris is going to play under me a little bit as we just go into a little bit of prayer. Recognizing that this time, right here, right now, is holy. Recognizing that it is holy because the life that Spirit is fully present right here, right now, as it must be. That life that God is everywhere present. It is the love and the peace and the joy that we see back of all that is created. Because all that is created is divine. And as that's the truth of all that is around us, it's also the truth of us. That we are that life that God is. We are the divine itself. We are the individualized expression of the divine. And so everything that God is also true of us. We are that same love and peace and joy that God is. And so it's from that place of knowingness that I speak my word as the truth of each and every one of us today, knowing absolutely that in the ordinary there is extraordinary. That as we set the intention, not the resolution, but the intention to see that to be the truth of ourselves in this year of 2022, that it is just reflected back into our lives. This life goes from ordinary to extraordinary, all of its own. All I need to do is follow one step at a time. Listen to my heart, because my heart is never wrong. My heart is the connection to Spirit, to that knowingness, that infinite knowingness that is everywhere present. And so for knowing that to be true, I just give thanks. And I release this prayer to the law, knowing that it's already fulfilled in the mind that God is. And I say life and God are good and very good. And together we say, and so it is. Amen and amen. And so now is the time for our conscious contributions. And I'm tied up in my thing there. And I just want to say thank you to all of our donors for the performance in 2021. Our donors, they gave 87% of what was given to the church today, our pledgers, I mean. And so thank you to our pledgers. They actually gave 3% more than they had pledged. So, even though there were a few people who couldn't quite meet their pledge, it was okay because the other folks were able to meet theirs plus some. So thank you to all the pledgers that we have. And thank you for your continued commitment into 2022. We as a community are truly, truly blessed by our congregation, and I'm so blessed to be here with you. So as we do our conscious contribution today, I know that many of you have already given online. And if you haven't and you're online right now, there's 3 ways for you to do that. One is to go to ahiah.com/donate, or you can text to give at 616, not 626, 616-229-2225. And then last fall, you can send a check in. We get many checks, and Harris and I happily get those, and people leave notes for me in those checks, and it just makes my day. Tuesday is such a blessed day for me. That's the day we open the mail. And so, however you want to do that, that's fine. And for those of you who are here today, there are offering envelopes in the pews if you want to put whatever you've brought in there. And Linda, you want to, oh, I've got one of them here. And if you're an auto tither, you can always put this in the basket. We've got these in the pews and in the back. This is one of our, it's a Ernie $100 bill. It's got Ernie on it, right? Ernest Holmes, our founder, on it. And so, however that is showing up, I just want to say thank you. And let's say our blessing. Let's take our offerings, maybe virtually to our heart, and you can read along with me. It's showing up on your screen right now. This gift I give is God in action. I send it forth with joy, confidence, and ease. I am blessed by the law of giving and receiving as I now share my gift with life. Pressed down, shaken together, and running over. And so it is. Amen and amen. And so now I'd like to ask Elizabeth to come up, and she's going to do another song for us.
Good morning again, everyone. Let me find myself here. Okay, so we're gonna just do-si-do train on out of here. We're gonna catch the love train. It's gonna take us from here and all through the town and all into 2022. So here we go. People at home, put down those coffee cups. Join us. People all over the world, join hands. Start a love train, love train. People all over the world, join hands. Start a love train, love train. The next stop that we make will be England. Tell all the folks in Russia and China too. Oh yeah. Don't you know that it's time to get on board? Yeah. And let this train keep on driving, driving on through. Yeah, yeah, yeah. People all over the world, come on everybody, join hands. Start a love train, love train. People all over the world, join hands. Start a love train, love train. Now all of your brothers and people in Africa, tell all the folks in Egypt and Israel too. Oh yeah. Don't miss this train at the station. Oh, 'cause if you miss it, I feel sorry, sorry for you. Well, 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 people all over the world, hey, join hands. Start a love train, love train. People all over the world, join hands. Start a love train, love train. Let it ride, let it ride, let it ride. Oh, get on board, oh, get on board. People all over the world, come on and join hands. Start a love train, a love train. People all over the world, join hands. Start the love train, love train. You don't need no money. Just get on board. You don't need no ticket. So come on and get on board. Hey, come on, get on this love train. 'Cause I'm calling you to come on. Hey, people all over the world, Ahiah, join hands, start a love train. People all over the world, join hands, start a love train. People all over the world, can you hear me? Join hands, start a love train. People all over the world, yes, join hands, start a love train. Yes, people all over the world.
Yes,
All right.
yes. Thank you, Elizabeth. So just a few things to remind you of. First of all, we have wonderful practitioners here. Marcia and Myrna are here today. I'm here. If you'd like prayer, I'd love to pray with you. And we also have Lisa, although you'll have to go to Lisa because Lisa's got a leg problem today. So, but feel free. We love to pray for you. And then we have Ministry of Prayer online also. So if you need some support, especially those of you who are watching us online, just go to ahiah.com/prayers. That will be information that comes directly to me, and I share it with our practitioners, and they will pray for whatever it is that you need prayer for. We also have Dial-A-Prayer. It's a lovely way to connect throughout the week with a message. There's a reading and a prayer. You can find it on our website and also by calling in here and pressing option number 7. And then we have a couple of classes, not starting this week, but the following week. So starting on, for my class, starting on January 11th, it's on Tuesdays from 6:30 to 9 o'clock at night. And it's only on Zoom. We're going to be teaching Beyond Limits, and that's a great course. If you're feeling like you're limited in any way right now, if you're looking to understand the basic teachings of this philosophy, just like I was talking about, the thing itself, we teach that here in this class. And that helps you to understand how to be the absolute marvelous creative essence that you are. And then we also have a class by Kelly. It's called The 5 Gifts for an Abundant Life. And so she's teaching that. That's on Thursdays for 8 weeks, starting a week from this coming Thursday. So that starts on the 13th. Both of those classes you can register by going to ahiah.com/classes. You get it. There's a link there. You just hit it. You fill in your information, and then I'll give you all the information that you need to get to the class and everything. The link and all the stuff that you need. So go ahead and sign up for those classes. We would love to have you. Both of them only on Zoom. We intentionally moved the class or the movie night from last Friday to this coming Friday because of New Year's Eve. So this is their 10th showing of the Superpower, Ignite Your Intuitive Intelligence. So it's part 10, and it's about consciousness raising. So that's a great thing. It's on Zoom. Again, you go to ahiah.com/virtual, hit the Go to Zoom button, and that is at 7 o'clock this coming Friday. Also, this March, at the end of March, we'll be having our annual meeting. At that time, we vote in new board members. This year, Gloria Roberts, who normally does our sound, she's also our treasurer, is going off of the board. And Gloria's done a great job. I've been working with her for the last 3 years. And so we're really looking for somebody who will replace Gloria in the treasurer position in particular. So that's what we're looking for as far as the skills of the people on the board. We would like somebody that has good financial skills, maybe business skills, having run a business and understanding how to run budgets, all that type of stuff. Gloria's done a great job. She'll have, she's put a big bar up there, but I'm sure somebody here will be able to fill those shoes. But right now what we're doing is we're looking for people to be on the nominating committee, which is the committee that reviews the people who apply and give a recommendation to the Board of Trustees. So if you're interested in the nominating committee, come see me after service. I also want to remind you, last of all, that we have Creating the Beloved Community. Our next one will be on January 31st from 7 to 9 p.m. And we have youth, and we have a couple of youth back there. Do you guys want to come up and say hi? Yeah? All right. We'll give you this mic here. Oh, you sure you want to do this, Lisa? Okay.
Good morning. So it being January, we talked this morning about clean slates and intention setting. And then we really focused on a quote by Ernest Holmes, "Life is a mirror and will reflect back to the thinker what he thinks into it." And we partnered up with each other and did movements and had the other follow, and then we reversed. And we did think that Emily and Claire may have had an unfair advantage. We came to that conclusion. But, and then we just did it simultaneously. So we really focused our conversation on a lot of examples of what our thinking, how it does come back to us in positive and in negative ways, and how we can use that information to make decisions about how we want to experience life and every day. We made, well, actually Malachi handmade us some envelopes. You hold your envelopes up. And so we're trying this week, we made a commitment to set an intention each morning and put in our envelope to see what it feels like to be that specific or intentional about bringing one thing to yourself in that day. And we'll talk about what that experience was like next week. And thank you to Mikhail and Malachi as helpers. And they were also really good mirrors together. They were quite entertaining. So, and that's it for us. Thank you.
All right, thank you. And if you want to participate more, have your kids participate in our youth group, just send them here. We start at 10:30, but you can bring them in at 11 if you want. And they just get so much out of it. So we love having our kids here. And so let's go ahead and say our benediction then. It's showing up on your screen. Why don't you read it along with me? Something wonderful is happening through me right now. It is this thing called life. Life is in my mind. Life is in my body. Life is in all of my affairs. I accept it. I am it, and I share it. Just the way it appears and just the way it appears not. Thank you, God. Amen and amen. And so I just want to say thank you to everybody that's here. I would love to chat with you after service, right out on the courtyard for a few minutes. For those of you who are online, I'd love to talk to you too. You can, if you're not watching on Zoom right now, if you're on Facebook or YouTube, just go to our website, ahiah.com/virtual, hit the go to Zoom button, and I'll be there in about 15 minutes, and I'd love to chat with you. Until next week, have a great time, everyone. Thank you, and namaste.
Exactly. Yeah. I'll tell you when. 1971. Denver, Colorado. We did that. It was the Jack Johnson record. Wayne Shorter. Oh, wonderful. Welcome. Yes. We want them. We want them. We want it all. We want you. Oh man, what's your name?